Hi everyone, welcome back to another day of my 90-day transformation challenge. And today is day 8, and honestly, I'm really proud that I'm still here, still showing up, and doing this one day at a time. If you've been following this journey from the beginning, you already know that this challenge is not about being perfect. It's about showing up, giving promises to myself, and becoming the woman that I keep saying I want to become. And today, I want to talk about something that has been helping me tremendously as I live this 90-day transformation journey. It's very simple, and honestly, it takes just a few minutes. And that is setting my top 3 priorities for the day. But before we go into that, let me quickly take you through what happened this morning. As usual, I started with my skipping, and yes, 1000 skips. I'm still doing it every single day. And I'm reminding myself that discipline isn't about doing something once. It's built by repeating the small things over and over again. Then came yoga, and today my body had a completely different plan. I wasn't feeling my best, so I couldn't do my usual 60 minutes yoga session. And if you watch my footage, you probably noticed that I didn't even make it to Shavasana, which is usually the final resting pose. I literally just lost it because I am unwell. If you remember day 2 or day 3, I had gone to the hospital and I even weighed myself and shared with you. So my body is not fully healed, and that's okay. But what's more important is that I'm glad I still showed up today, and I really do celebrate myself for that. So today, I listen to my body because, like I've said, discipline is all about not really pushing myself, but also knowing when to stop. And yeah, like I've said, that's okay because this challenge is about proving that I can destroy myself for the next 90 days. No, but it's all about learning how to take better care of myself while still becoming better. And that brings me to today's lesson. And like I've mentioned, one thing that I'm becoming very intentional about during these 90 days is my mornings. Because I genuinely believe that if you win your morning, you give yourself a much better chance of winning your day. And if you keep winning your days, eventually you win your 90 days. And more importantly, you start winning back yourself. Think about the way most of us start our morning. Sometimes you just wake up, reach out on your phone, check your WhatsApp, your Instagram, TikTok. And guess what? You see somebody traveling, another person getting married, someone else buying a house, making money, other people complaining and fighting, or really sharing some really terrible bad news. And before you even gotten out of bed, your mind is already carrying the weight of everybody else's life. And then you wonder why you feel tired, distracted, anxious, and you can't even focus. So why you feel like you're already behind before the day even starts? I've realized that I do not want to start my day like that anymore. So I've become very intentional about my mornings. I wake up every morning before the children wake up, and I give myself some quiet time through prayer, meditation, Bible reading, reflection, and sometimes I sit quietly without rushing, without noise or social media. Just me, my thought, and God. And honestly, those quiet moments have become very important to me because before the world starts demanding things from me, I get a chance to check in with myself. And then comes something else that I have been doing consistently. I write down my top 3 priorities, just 3, not 10 or 15 or 20 or even 5. No, I stick to 3 and ensure that they don't feel overwhelming, okay, to me. So the 3 things that I want to accomplish for that particular day, I write them down, and I actually prefer to write them down the night before. If you follow me on my socials, you may have seen that I like planning for the following day at night, the night before. So before I go to bed, I already have an idea of what matters most the following day. And when I wake up, I know exactly what I am supposed to focus on. And there is something powerful about writing your intentions down because when you write something down, you just don't think about it anymore. You give your brain a direction by telling yourself, this is what matters tomorrow or today. And that is what I mean by written intention. Your intentions um, don't have to be complicated. Let me just give you an example. Okay? It could be you want to finish an important work assignment, you want to exercise for 30 minutes, or spend an hour with your child, or even 15 minutes. That's it. That's just but an example. So think of 3 things that you want to set out for that day for yourself, and those become your top priorities for that particular day. You know what? Because sometimes we don't struggle because we don't have enough time. We really struggle because we have too many priorities competing for our attention. Everything feels important and urgent. And because everything feels important, we end up doing nothing properly. And that's why I love the idea of having just 3 priorities. I always ask myself, what actually matters tomorrow? That is the night before. And once I know what matters, I can organize myself around those things, even when the day doesn't go according to plan. Because let's be honest, some days are easy, others are hard. Some days you're motivated, others just don't even have your energy and you're tired. And other days, your children want you, or something unexpected happens, work comes up, and plans changes, and suddenly it's 5 p.m. and you're wondering where the whole day went. And that's life, right? And that's exactly why I think having 3 priorities is really powerful, because even on difficult days, I can ask myself, what are the 3 things that absolutely matter? Maybe I don't do everything, but I can do those 3 things. Maybe I can't have the perfect day, but can I still have a meaningful day? That's the difference. I'm not worrying or trying to create a perfect day. I'm just trying to create intentional days. And that's very important, because the intentional days eventually create an intentional life. And that's why we are doing the 90-day challenge, to create an intentional life and to change our situations. So I've also realized that my mornings routines don't have to be complicated. That's it. Like, I don't need so a lot of time for the morning routine, or get expensive things or whatever, or wake up very early because somebody on the internet said that successful people wake up at 4 or 5. No, you just need a morning that works for you. And for me, waking up early does, and then doing my rosary, reading the Bible, and reflecting and doing a little bit of meditation. That's it. And then knowing my top 3 priorities, that's my foundation. And I'm learning that beauty of morning rituals isn't necessarily in the individual activities. No, it's in the momentum they create. When I start my morning intentionally, I feel different, lighter, and clearer, honestly. And I feel more prepared. I feel like I'm driving my day instead of allowing the day to drive me. And I think that's something many of us need, because sometimes we wake up and immediately start reacting, reading messages, checking your emails, going on social media, you know. And by lunchtime, we've spent the entire morning responding to everyone else. But where were you? What did you do? What mattered to you? What were you trying to accomplish? Because that's why I'm taking my morning seriously during these 90 days. I'm creating that space before the noise begins. And I'm deciding what matters before everybody else is telling me what really matters. And also, there are things that I'm intentionally avoiding. And one of them is waking up stressed, avoiding rushing, or just negativity. Those are things that I'm intentionally avoiding, or just jumping into work without, having something genuine to follow through. Because I've realized that the first thing I consume in the morning can influence the way I feel the rest of the day. And the first thing I consume, if it's negativity, I carry negativity. So instead, I'm trying to start with things that bring me back to myself, like prayer, stillness, and reflection, like I have mentioned. So I'm inviting you. This is what you need to do. Ensure that you write down those top 3 priorities for yourself every single day, and also join me during this journey, because we are learning together and we are doing this together. And if you're not following me, please subscribe and follow me for more. Tomorrow being day 9, I also have something special prepared for you. And it's all about the things that you need to cut off, so tomorrow we're going to talk about the things that we need to cut off so that we feel lighter and we create more room for growth and transformation. So I wish you all the best during this challenge, and I invite you to also show up for yourself, because at the end of the day, you're the one that matters the most. And if you're able to keep promises to yourself, this is a signal that you put into your brain that you actually are someone who follows through, and you're someone who comes, and basically you're able to show up for yourself. And before you know it, by the 90 days, your whole life becomes transformed. So thank you so much for being with me. Let's clock in tomorrow, and I wish you all the best. Bye.